funny story about that. I read it and sold all of those books on eBay, and I got an angry seller that wrote back to me saying, "How dare you say this is mint condition? There was stains from breakfast on one of the pages." I had a harsh lesson in what is mint versus not as mint.
Is that what you call a funny story?
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire, where it is sad and pathetic that we were laughing at our own drops.
Our own Kool-Aid.
We're like drinking our own Kool-Aid.
This is unbelievable.
We're like, that was hilarious. We're so funny. We're such a great show.
I'm trapped in a world I never made.
We are a great show, and you should all be lucky that you're listening.
Yes.
No, I take that back. That was really good.
Yes, taunt the audience like Disney does.
Melody Washington Hannibal said, "That black guy speaks so well."
Yeah.
That's what she said.
He didn't used to. It's amazing.
That's my crazy sociopathic aunt.
The evolution of Godwin.
Mark Pensavalle, who has with us to the end.
Pestering us.
I love
Pestering.
it. The intent of The Last Jedi was noble and daring. The execution was very flawed, which Brian Abraham responded, "Oh, there was execution, the franchise." But I mean, your whole argument is they're putting the bullet in something now that something.
Why was it necessary to murder?
I agree. There was no reason to.
They're not murdering.
Just
They murdered. It'll be looked at as a glitch. Remember, like before you guys were born, there was something called The Empire Strikes Back.
No, I was born.
What? People,
he saw it in theaters.
Opening day.
People freaked about that movie.
Sure,
they did. There was a lot of negativity. The movie did only a fraction of what Star Wars did in terms of its box office. People said, "Oh, Darth Vader's lying," and had any number of complaints about that film. Jedi comes after it, and all is forgiven.
That was back when the message boards were and the internet were the tin cans.
That's right,
like between tree houses.
Yeah, that's right.
So you were like,
but the thing is, then there was the prequels, and no one's gotten over that yet.
No.
So there you go. So there's an outlier.
We're
an outlier to the argument.
We're gonna touch upon that another day because I want to get through my outline here. So.
Way to make the show seem spontaneous by telling everybody you're reading from the script.
So the original idea for the show tonight, having Jeff on, was to talk about the Disney Fox merger.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time telling us about what you planned on doing,
no, but we're doing it right now.
Be nice.
We're doing it right now. So
I'm not nice.
So we're gonna cue this. We're gonna cue this up as part of our weekly segment, which is spinning the racks.
Spin the rack, spin the rack.
Available as a ringtone next week. Not kidding.
How do I get out of this?
I actually have a techno remix for that as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that up as well too.
Right, great.
This is a great. Well, actually, there's two great articles that segue into this. X-Men Shakeup, Deadpool 2, Gambit, the New Mutants get new dates. Talking about the future of the X-Men universe. Fox is shaking up the release schedule of X-Men movies, giving Deadpool 2, New Mutants, and Gambit new opening dates. Deadpool will move from June 1st to May 18th. This move puts the action comedy against Sony's Slender Man, which, whatever. But more importantly, has it opening 1 week before Solo, a Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. The strategy, says that even second weeks have been very strong for Star Wars movies, so therefore I would think Deadpool 2 would kill Solo. I feel like it would kill it after unless it's terrible, right? Does it mean that it's terrible that they're moving it up?
No, it doesn't actually. I think that it denotes some degree of confidence.
Okay.
When you put a film a little bit earlier in the season, especially leading into the summer releases, it's okay. They're happy with it.
They're happy with it. All right, so that's good. That's what we want to know. We want to know that Deadpool 2 is not going to be horrible, even though the original Deadpool was really fun.
Yes.
I didn't think it was as great as everyone made it out to be, but
Clearly you didn't, Mike Dolce.
I did not.
Clearly you didn't.
I did not. New Mutants getting moved. What do you think about that?
Good.
Yeah, these are this stuff. It's funny because this sort of thing never made the news because nobody cared when
Right. Well, now we're starved for news, like our show. We are starved. We want this stuff.
So they jockey depending on who's releasing what when, and in the studios they have these giant electronic boards with every release for the next 3 years, month by month. And,
we do too, but you just can't see it. It's in the
it's behind the banners.
It's that wall.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! You can see us on TalkingAlternative.com if you're streaming us on that. That's just a
It's
picture
in
of
your
some fish.
computer.
in between the crystals, the star crystals.
New Mutants, Josh Boone's horror-tinged take on Marvel's teen heroes gets pushed back 10 months, which I thought was crazy, but insiders say the reason for the change is the studio avoids overlapping with X-Men movies in other marketplaces overseas. So they would have been in theaters at this exact same time.
It stands to reason. Look, New Mutants is again, finally, in the twilight of Fox.
Yeah.
They are doing interesting things with the franchise and subjecting them to subgenres and things like that. The superhero horror film.
Sure.
That's interesting. You know,
actually, it looks really cool.
And then the studio's going to wink out of existence.
Yeah. And meanwhile, and I'll flash a picture on screen if you're watching us on Facebook right now. Gambit sees its release date moved to February 2019 to June. Sorry, from February 2019 to June 2019 because it just lost its director.
Yeah, that's a football that's been kicked down the field.
I have a feeling
for a decade now.
When we invite Jeff on,
that picture is terrible.
There's a reason I put that picture up there.
Dude,
come on!
I did my homework on this.
I believe you did.
I worked hard,
but you don't got to kick him in the head like that.
But that's look. Anybody who's listening to us on iTunes, which you should, it's great. Download us. Go to YouTube.
Wasting time.
Download us as well too. There is a picture of Gambit from one of the cartoon series, and it just looks horrible. But there's a reason for it because I feel like that movie is never coming out, and maybe
we
that's
already
a good
had
thing.
Gambit in X-Men,
and he was the best part of that movie. Right? I mean, there was not a lot of good in that movie, and he was the best part.
Nah, I would say Liev Schreiber has a...
The opening sequence was the best part of that movie.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Easily.
We all agree?
Easily.
Even though it's bad ratings?
I don't know if I would put Gambit anywhere in the best category.
So, Jeff, we're running down with some time, so give us some insight into the Fox Marvel, Fox Disney merger. I mean, what are you hearing? What do you think? What are we expecting in terms of like what's going to actually, come of that? Is it going to be as monumental as we think it is?
Well, for fanboys, it's certainly going to be. Overall, what Disney is doing is it's taking out an opponent, and it's an opponent that actually wasn't terribly strong. Fox hadn't had many big franchises. There were lots of kind of misfires, particularly in the genre films, and yet there were tons and tons of assets. And let's face it, Rupert Murdoch is retiring, and he wants a big send-off.
Sure.
And owning a giant piece of Disney is a good send-off for Rupert Murdoch. With regard to what we love, I think you're going to see some really remarkable. I think it dictates an entire phase of Marvel superhero movies, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Is that going to disrupt what they've already got planned? Or is it just too far out to even?
You know what? I think they were the muscles were really flexing to take these third and fourth tier characters and lift them and make them as enjoyable as they were. It's going to be a little easier, I think, to do that with Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Deadpool. And yes, Deadpool is going to continue to be released.
I read that. R-rated. Cursing and all that fun stuff.
That's cool. A little inside baseball from little birds. The big win is a Hugh Jackman Wolverine with Spider-Man. Why? Spider-Man is the #1 superhero merchandise generator anytime ever. So combining those two characters. And Hugh is willing to do it. Will be remarkable.
Don't do it, Hugh. All right, so this is the thing. We actually talked about.
Now he's getting an Academy Award for his potentially getting an Academy Award for his send off And he's just gonna come back.
He wants to put his kids through college.
Look, we did this last week, and we're doing it this week. I think Hugh Jackman needs to hang up the claws, and I don't mean it in the sense of his performance. I think this merger is the perfect opportunity to get a new actor in here that's going to be with us for the next 15 years. If you're going to do it, don't do it now. Don't come back now for one movie, and then we have to go like Doug Ray Scott as Wolverine or Bob Hoskins, which is what Chris Claremont wanted originally. Just you did it. You had your send off, right? I mean, Hassan, you wanted Hugh Jackman back though? You did, right?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Despite everything you just said, I don't like when they kill off heroes. I'm just one of those guys. Like I like Braveheart. I'm like, nah.
He will have to evolve into another actor at some point or another.
Yeah,
but there are a number of opportunities in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for something like that to happen.
And Hugh Jackman is just cha-ching. You know, like he knows he can get in on that. Everybody in the world wants to get in the MCU.
Next week, we will full on debate why Hugh Jackman should hang up the claws.
No, we won't. We'll talk about something else next
and Newsarama's Chris Arant
to.
helps us break down the must-read comic books and comic book movie tie-ins in the comic book world from Newsarama coming on next week. Mr. Jeff Gomez, where can everyone find you?
Hey, at Jeff_Gomez on Twitter. Starlight Runner Entertainment on Facebook, Jeff Gomez also on Facebook, and check out my blog on Medium, Collective Journey.
How's that underscore working? Because people have a real problem with it. I have the underscore too. People hate that.
There are a bunch of Jeff Gomez's out there who are completely annoyed with me.
We love you guys. We will see you next week. Coming up next is The Governor's House on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to the Talk